Okay, okay. So let's quickly, I'm going to do this and I need you guys to sign me. I will try not to exceed 40 minutes and I hope you can still hear me. So you're welcome to the Are You Ready to Be Influential webinar with Ochudo Ayi. So let me start by introducing myself. Who is Ochudo Ayi and why am I here to explain to you that you can be influential? Well, I am a personal development, branding, and reinvention expert. Yes, I like to call myself that these days. I started out as a young architect. Hold on, let me remove that banner. I see it's interrupting the slide. Hmm. Okay, so I started out as a young architect, attracting my first international project when I was 27 years old. I had always dreamt of being an entrepreneur, and I had been working up until that time. So I decided to launch out on my own when I was 27, and my very first job was an international company from South Africa who wanted to do their offices. I was very happy to help with the design. I set everything up, went out of my way to ensure that I gave them the best that I could at the time. And that opportunity opened several doors for me and began to certify my place as somebody who could impact things. I'm currently an emotional intelligence, anger management, fear mastery. I'm currently fear mastery certified as well. I'm an NLP practitioner, and NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. I'm a certified practitioner. I teach, I train, I motivate, I coach, and recently I became a published author. So just before the lockdown, I became an international speaker, and by that I mean I was invited to the United Kingdom to speak to two different audiences on on matters that were topical at the time, and recently became a published author. I have mentored the Hot Prize awardees. I have mentored the Small and Medium Prize Enterprise Hub. I have mentored the Nigerian Bottling Coca-Cola Youth. I have mentored several other organizations. I just listed a few here. I founded the Personal Branding for Leaders community, now called the Emerge and Dominate Africa. We we rechristened ourselves as Emerge and Dominate Africa after the success of our first summit, which was held in 2020. So if you stay to the end, you're going to get great value for your 30 minutes if you stay to the end. Okay? So make sure you stay to the end. I have a great, great offer for you. I will show you how I was able to emerge from obscurity. Thank you for the heart. I feel encouraged already. I'm going to show you how I was able to emerge from obscurity into an influential personality by knowing and doing the things that I'm going to share with you in this webinar. And and you can start your journey even today, even if you have only just decided by watching this. So turn off all distractions, and if you're using your mobile phone, please turn it to the landscape mode, concentrate, and then keep all distractions away. So why should you listen to me? Why should I tell you anything about becoming influential? I mean, have I commanded the attention of the whole world? Why? Why should you listen to me? So this is me. The first time I was invited to a Square Connect and a very exclusive meeting with the then ambassador of the United States. There was so much security in that room. It was such a pleasure when he acknowledged and shook my hand, asked my name, and all that blah blah story, right? Fantastic. So this is me also speaking at the AIT studio. I have helped over 1,000 people, and that is on the lower. I'm being modest. I've helped over 1,000 people set the right goals and begin their journeys to significance. That's me there taking a leadership training for an organization, and that is me helping some members of our community set vision boards and prepare goals for the coming year. I do this all the time. I do this every year. I do this frequently. So I have derived a lot of joy from doing what I currently do. I have been recognized for my contributions in the personal development space. This is me being given a small award for my contributions. At that time, I had done a 90-day challenge on helping people find new mindsets to create wealth. And I'm glad that the impact of that series was part of what got me the platform in the UK. and there they were acknowledging the contributions that I had made. I have, like I said, mentored the Hot Price, an American organization leading to seek leading generational change in the world. I think it's I think Bill Clinton is one of its patrons. I was privileged to mentor some of their awardees. They came third overall, and I think they can do well, better. But I was privileged to mentor them, and that's part of my influence growing. I have authored 4 books, and these are 2 covers of the books I have authored, 2 of the books I have authored. I recently published The Ultimate Guide to Transformational Personal Retreat, and I have not yet published the Dare to be Seen. It's the beginner's guide to personal branding. I will share more on that later. I'm regularly being consulted to share my views on topical issues along with other leaders in the industry. This is a top leader in the industry, and this is the voice of Nigeria. This is me, one of my articles being featured in a book, in a magazine, the Visionary magazine. It has been a pleasure, and I'm regularly consulted on other fronts as well. I'm a goal crusher myself. In other words, I have also been able to set influence goals and achieve them. And this is me being inducted into the Architects Registration Council of Nigeria. I currently serve there in 2 capacities. I am the social secretary I'm the secretary for the Social and Welfare Committee, and I'm also a member of the library committee at the national level. So I've increased and expanded the places where I show up to influence. So I've spent over 5 years testing and fine-tuning this knowledge and skill. I'm finally beginning to do some things right. But I also have made a lot of mistakes, and I would like to show you how. So would you like to see the easy way or the hard way? Would you like to see the easy way or the hard way? Please say something in the comments. Say if you'd like to know the hard way or the easy way. I'm sure you want the easy way. I'm sure you want the easy way. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with the hard way. I'm going to start with the hard way. Many of us have attempted to do many things, and many times we go ahead and trial by error to achieve what we want to achieve. So I have been there. Someone says the easy way. No, let's start with the hard way, BC. Let's start with the hard way. Okay, so let's start with the hard way so that we can get out of the way all the things that can limit us. The mistakes I made. Look, listen, I intend to share from my own personal experiences. The things I'm going to be sharing here are not things that I garnered in a book. These are things that I've gone through myself, and I've decided that I can share this information. So let's go through the mistakes that I made. Let's go through the mistakes. Mr. John, thank you for joining. So I had set out, when I started my journey to influence, I set out without an idea of what I wanted. I remember that it was really just a pastime on social media. Since I could be at work and have time to just browse through social media every now and then, I decided to start putting my thoughts out. But I had no idea and no direction. I didn't know what I was trying to do. It was more like a coping mechanism to get me out of the bored, satisfied state I was and just share things that I wanted to share. So I had no idea what I wanted. I had spent a lot of time thinking and planning instead of taking action. Oh my God. Ever since the lockdown started, I had commenced trying to put some structure in place. Believe you me when I say I am the queen of thinking. I will think, plan, and yet fail to execute. And I became overwhelmed easily. Became overwhelmed by the lack of results. And this is me that has just shown you a bit to try and qualify myself and earn your attention, right? Yes, I had a lot of things that I knew I could do, but I wasn't taking action because all I did was plan and think. And I'm sure you know a couple of people like that. You're probably like that yourself, where you you when you have put your thoughts down on paper and you have planned, you start feeling like, I've achieved this thing now. I don't know if you're like me, but when I sit down and I get into that writing mood, I pour out my ideas on paper, and I feel this psychological feeling of relief that I have gotten the thing out of my spirit onto a paper. Now, the next thing is to take action on what I've written, right? Sometimes I procrastinate, and that procrastination allows things to pile up, and I become overwhelmed by it. And analysis paralysis sets in. I'm sure you guys, if you don't know what analysis paralysis is, then maybe you should Google it. Okay, I'm not going to say that here today. I had no real, number three, I had no real knowledge of my natural talents and skills. Yes, you do know that many times we try to do things that we are not wired for. And so part of my mistake was insisting on doing certain things that were my weaknesses and not paying attention to areas that were my strengths. For instance, I'm taking this webinar now. I can speak, I can talk, I'm able to articulate my thoughts. But I'm really poor, or I used to be really poor at tech. Yes, I insisted, and that was part of why I kept delaying to take action. I insisted on honing my tech skills, and I was so frozen by tech. I'm a recovering dinosaur, and I was one of those people that was completely tech averse. The only thing I knew how to do on Facebook was post a picture and write a post. People would say, open the post, let's share. I wouldn't know. People would say, do this on WhatsApp. I wouldn't know. I was a real dinosaur, you know. So I had no real knowledge of my natural talent, and I kept trying to invest in the areas, not invest as such, but kept trying to use to promote myself or build influence in the areas I hadn't invested in to grow and nurture those skills. I kept investing in the wrong things and then not paying attention to the right things. So that I'm hoping that someone here is deciding that, look, if you're not good at certain aspects of what you're supposed to be doing, look for someone to delegate it to so that you can really spend time doing the things that you naturally are good at and can bring you a lot of success. I also had unrealistic expectations. I'm not really sure, but when I came online and I decided I wanted to become influential, I quickly looked for those that were really succeeding at it. And so I found some industry leaders, they would just cough online and they would have 20,000 likes. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but you get my point, right? They would just cough and then they would have so many comments, so many likes. And then I will write my heart out. After shaking, put it out there, and then a couple of people would like it. Few comments here and there. I began to feel discouraged because my expectations were like, why is this person achieving XYZ and why am I not able to achieve it? Welcome, Ruben. Why am I not able to achieve it? And so I had unhealthy, unrealistic expectations. Over time, I realized that a lot of these people who were having and commanding that kind of attention had put in quite a few years into growing their influence. So their influence did not come to them by accident. It actually had been nurtured and grown. And so my job was to calm all the way down and begin to grow my influence. So I also completely underestimated what it would take. So because it's easy for me to talk, it's easy for me to, there's some things I can do easily. I find writing easy. You know, I find being able to express my thoughts on paper easy. That was great. But it wasn't really easy for me to do videos, not at the initial stage. I wanted to die of shyness. And so when I came up online and I started sharing, I got a lot of good vibes, but I wasn't prepared for the amount of discipline to take to be able to stick to a consistent routine. I realized that I cannot think poorly of anyone out there who has managed to grow influence, who has managed to build something worth admiring. It has taken a lot of internal work and commitment to be who they are today. And so I underestimated what it would really take, and that was a hard way I struggled to learn. I remember that when I gave myself the challenge for 90 days, I intended to do it for 21 days. But as I strengthened my muscles, I decided to take it all the way to 90. That meant showing up really early every day and sitting down to curate my content and then shooting the video for that content. Believe you me, I learned so many things about myself and about my audience shooting that challenge. It takes a whole lot more, but the rewards are way more than the effort that you need to take to achieve them. I misunderstood the milestones that mattered. Yes. Somebody came in box. Let me tell you one secret. Somebody came in box and told me I wasn't compliant. And when I asked what that meant, he said he expected me to look the part. If I was going to be speaking about wealth in a certain capacity, he expected me to look the part. So I didn't realize that a lot of I thought that it was okay if I shared value, people would be attracted to just my value. But further down the line, I will tell you why this milestone was. It's a very important aspect in becoming influential. Looking the part. Okay? I had no strategy. I believe that what I'm doing is sufficient. It's to get seen, it's to be noticed, it's to be heard, no strategy at all. And then I had no area of concentration. Yes, there are certain areas of concentration that you should pay attention. There are certain areas you should pay attention to when you want to begin working on your influence. There are so many aspects. It's a very broad topic. So you want to start focusing on specifics so that you can measure your progress, see results, and pat yourself on the back when you go. And then finally, I couldn't really resist distractions. Social media, especially Instagram, it's a whole world of distractions. Once you just find yourself walking to that explore page, you can be there for 1 hour straight. Oh my God, it's terrible. It's terrible. So I did all these things the hard way, and I want to show you the easy way. I want to show you what I did eventually after making all these mistakes. I'll give you a real secret. There is no easy way. There is no easy way to achieve influence. I'm just going to show you the way. The way. So let's move on. So what I'm about to share with you will not work for you if you are not looking to take action. You can see Simon Cowell's face, very stern face, warning and admonishing that you must take action. If you're full of skepticism, if you are a double-minded person and you doubt yourself, or if you're not willing to invest yourself, what I'm going to share is not for you. The way that I'm going to share is the way. And if you're not willing to invest in yourself or take action, this will not be for you. So, in building influence, I have added to my income earning stream since I figured this out. I decided to post one or two testimonials just to further qualify. Hi, Sioma. Thank you for watching. I decided to post some of my testimonials. This is someone telling me my business is kicking back. In 3 days this week, I made $1,500. Not naira, dollars. Not naira, dollars, dollars, not naira. And she said, I've since gone back to what you have been teaching us. I am so excited. I see my comments. I'm so proud of you. This is what I'm talking about. You know. So, my if you don't mind, I will share blah 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 blah. I ask for permission to be able to share this conversation privately. So I remember this is another comment. Someone said, "Thank you for the response. I have never been this clear on what I want in my life like this. It's been an awesome time with you. Did I tell you what happened to me 3 weeks ago? Blah 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 blah." So this is another person's testimonial trying to tell me that she felt happy attending one of my classes. Let me skip to the part where she says she's been able to sell out her goods worth almost 350,000 in 1 week. And I'm like, if I had kept quiet, this wouldn't have happened. Thank you so much for opening my eyes and my mind to opportunities. I took time to help you understand that beyond just gaining influence, you are going to be increasing your opportunities to earn an income, additional stream of income. So, in building my influence, I have attracted destiny helpers. I don't think I've ever shared this out here before openly. But a couple of years ago, I was invited by the erudite Are Akebabalola. This picture is 3 years old. Do you know that that level, that thing that you have in your hand that you are not taking seriously, that idol, that gift, that talent, that information, that knowledge that you have is able to open doors and lead you to stand before kings, and you're not taking it seriously. I'm here to challenge you today that you have what it takes to become influential. See, some of you will attract a mentor by the things that you are willing to do, not by the things that you are planning to do. I attracted the story of how I met this man is incredible. Somebody began to converse with me, saw my work. I'm not really sure. Um, I happened to be conversing with the person and we're talking about architecture and some work. And then, he mentioned me. He said I made a comment. The person that was talking to Baba about me said I made a comment about his hospital. He said, who was that lady? He said, oh, one young lady who is doing something. She said he would like to meet me. And all expense paid trip was I was flown into his office. I met with him. I have never shared this openly before, but today I'm just trying to tell you how powerful, how powerful it is when you make up your mind to become somebody of influence. Even if I didn't have the means, I mean, I wouldn't have known how to meet this man. I wouldn't have had the means to do so. Doors open for you when you use what I'm going to teach you today to be influential. Okay? Doors will open for you. So I don't want you to shy away from what I'm about to share with you today. And I've worked with big names like Google. Yes, I have been invited. I think in the session I took with Google, I had over 400 people, and afterwards I was told that it was shared with over 1,000 people. That day my shoulders were up, like I was feeling very proud of myself. And to tell you that that influence, that was just me. I had that opportunity to talk to the Google community, the Google I forget the proper name, the Google community, just barely a few weeks after I had my last baby. If you follow me online, you will know that I recently have had a baby that is just about to turn one, and I had a lot of health challenges. I still had the opportunity to. I was still referred to Google, and I was really happy with the reviews that I got. I didn't have the time to share them because I think I've sufficiently shared with you that I have grown some level of influence. I have grown some level of influence. Many doors of opportunities have been opened to me, an ordinary girl like me, because I made up my mind to become influential. Are you ready to be influential? Are you ready? Are you ready to take what you have, share it with the world in such a way that the world will bless you? I hope you are. I hope you are. So I'm timing myself. I'm going to be able to get you across this very quickly. Who needs this? Anyone who has decided they are ready to stop making excuses. You need this. It's dangerous, really, to leave the outcome of your life to chance. You must plan for it. How do you intend to plan for your influence? Well, there are several dimensions to becoming an influential person, but first of all, let's look at the basics. What is influence? What is influence? Influence is the capacity to cause a desired effect, directly or indirectly, in such a way that it benefits both you and the object being influenced. Now, that object could be a person, a community, a decision, an outcome. And I bolden the word here, capacity, because I want you to know that capacity suggests that it is okay if you don't have what it takes to be fully influential yet. Capacity means you can grow your capacity to cause a desired effect. So even if you are here today and this is your first time ever encountering the desire, ever even paying attention to anything purpose or influence or becoming someone of influence on or significance, you have, so long as you're here, that means you have some level of capacity. What you may need to do now is to grow that capacity to be able to cause a desired effect. If you want a big effect, there's a certain kind of capacity that can give you that effect. If you want a tiny effect, there's also a certain level of capacity that can give you a tiny effect. The essence is know that it is in your hands to grow capacity to cause the desired effect in such a way that it will benefit you and the object being influenced. Influence is like salt. You put salt in soup. The soup tastes good and it blesses you. It also helps the soup stay preserved, makes the soup taste good, right? So it's a win-win situation. Real influence is supposed to be a win-win situation. Real influence is not manipulation. You're not supposed to be influencing people so that you can manipulate them and take advantage of them. Real influence, is supposed to benefit both you and the object being influenced. So why should you be influential? Number one, it allows you to impact your community. Have you seen the kind of impact I've had so far? An ordinary girl like me, it allows you to impact your community. It increases confidence in you and your brand. I make bold to say that so long as I continue to do what I'm doing, I continue to show up, I continue to share knowledge that would help and impact people's lives, it's going to increase people's confidence in me and what I can deliver. So that one day you'll be sitting down watching and they will tell you that I'm in the White House. Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's move on. It positions you as an expert of person and a person of authority. This word was so elusive to me in the past. A person of authority. There are some people in my industry that used to be like golden goose to me. They were just shiny. Everything about them was so attractive and they were just so awesome. And I wondered, would I ever be like that now? Now, in certain quarters, I am known as a person of authority. And that's an awesome feeling if you desire to be influential. It stands you out from competition. It increases your power connections, as I showed you in that picture right there. Sometimes the connections may need you to pursue them. Other times they will need you to position so that they can come looking for you. And like I showed you in some of the WhatsApp chats, it also increases your earning power. The more influential you become, the higher fees you can charge. The more influential you become, the more your earning powers, the more you go up there, and the more fees you command for who you are, what you know. Ronaldo is not paid the same as the local boy in your football club. Do you know that Ronaldo is the person most followed in the world on Instagram? I think he has over 469 followers, million followers on Instagram. When people want to come on his timeline and ask to reach a certain audience, you can be sure that all you need to do is hop and he's going to get a sizable amount of people invest in that product. Okay. And then finally, I know this is an post, odd, odd reason why you should be influential. But really, God expects it of you. God expects you to be influential, and I'm going to show you why. You see, let's first deal with the limiting assumptions. I'm looking to prove to you that God expects you to be influential. But like right now, a lot of people are already struggling with some of the things I have listed. The limiting assumptions that stop them from really rising to influence. I know that anyone that has taken any kind of interest in what I'm sharing today actually has a desire to be influential. That means you have a message to share, you have knowledge to share, you have work to share with the world, you have information, you have experience, you have a style, you have everything. There's something you have that you know another person needs. Yet you are holding back because you are allowing yourself indulge in this limiting assumption. Number one, many people assume that their work will speak for themselves. I want to challenge you today that if you are one of the, I mean, I was this kind of person. I would always do something and never try to promote it at all. And I don't mean that kind of promotion where you beat people on the head, see me, see me, see me. Not that type of unnecessary braggadocious promotion, but just you have something people need. So people need to see it now, right? So your work will speak for yourself. No, that's an assumption. As somebody who wants to be a person of influence, you must learn to take your work to others. You must learn to show your work. You must learn to present your work in such a way that it will help people. If you fail to do that, you are already robbing yourself of some level of influence. It took me a long time, I must say, to get over this limiting assumption. But today, I'm bolder and able to speak for myself and add my voice to my work, allow both of them to speak for themselves. Another limiting assumption that people tend to have is that other people should be the ones to promote me. So sometimes you share, you're online, you have a business you want to share with people, or you have a message you like to share with people. I believe that if you have something to share, that means there are lots of people who need to hear what you have to say. So it's not sufficient to share and only 3, 4 people are able to be blessed by what you have shared. And many times you secretly hope that other people will be the ones to promote it for you. No, no, no. I've already countered that limiting assumption at the beginning. You must learn to speak for yourself. You must show up. You must employ the machinery, even if you are not willing to show up yourself to tell people about your work. You must engage the services or the technicalities of products and solutions that can help promote that solution you want to offer. So, for example, even if you are not the person you don't want to come and do a live video, you should be able to get an automated system to help promote what it is you're doing so that we can reach more people. The more people you reach, the more influential you're becoming. It is wrong for me to accept credit for my work. Yes, this is a limiting assumption. And I'm writing all the things I suffered from. If you have ever encountered any limiting assumption that has hampered your influence level, please put it in the comments below and let me see. I'm pretty sure someone said I'm suffering. Somebody said, I'm suffering. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for joining. Somebody said, I'm suffering. Yes, yes, you're suffering, right? So it is wrong for me to accept credit for what I'm doing. Like I said, in everything that you do, there must be moderation. So I don't mean that exaggerated, overly sensual, you know, proud and not that kind of credit that makes you puffs you up, but simple credit for your work. Okay, and I'll explain to you why this point is very important down the line. Many times people allow their influences be curbed because they don't want to be seen as playing politics or appear too ambitious. I've been me like this. I consider myself, well, for the longest of times I considered myself shy and I didn't really want anything politics. But I realized that we play politics all the time, whether we know it or not. Now that I have a child that is a teenager and I have a preteen, I see the politics going on among my kids. They are constantly lobbying for something from me, for attention, for this, and I'm like, no, why was I running away from this? If I really want something to get done, I must be prepared to understand how to get it. So running away from playing, I mean, of course, there's unhealthy politics. There are kinds of politics in the office that put up other people down in order to elevate yourself. That's not the kind of politics I'm talking about. But I promise you, if you are avoiding playing or engaging the rules of the game, you are going to stop yourself from being influential. Okay? And then one of the last assumption that people have most times in our part of the country is it is God who will make me influential. I do not have to do anything. That is not true, and I'm about to shatter this table. Fa, 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 foul. Only those that were born at a certain time would know what I just said. If you were not born if you don't know this fa, 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 foul, just start calling me auntie when you see me. Okay? Start calling me auntie. The fact that you think God will, let's go back, let's see. God will make you influential and you don't have to do anything is part of the problems that lots of people have in being influential, and that cannot be further from the truth. Permit me, guys, I'm a lady of faith, and sometimes some of these things are better expressed when I'm able to use the faith, a lot of the things that have influenced me today. So I want to show you, using the Bible, the good book, one of the most influential people that has ever lived, the God factor. The Bible says that let your light so shine so that men may see your works and glorify your Father in heaven. I put that word so shine. Why don't we just say let your light shine? But they use the word so shine, meaning that blind them, make sure it is seen, so that men may see your works and glorify your Father in heaven. It is men that will see your works. God is already seeing you, and God can see everything you do. If you want to get influential, you have to position yourself to be seen by men. God looks on the heart, but men, they look on the outside. So if you want to be influential and to get the benefits of being influential, men have to see your work. So this is God telling you, let your light shine. So that when men see your work, they will give glory to your Father in heaven. One of the most influential people that has lived on earth is Jesus. And the Bible says that Jesus has favor with God and with other men. Why didn't he just reserve and say, I need to just have favor with God, but he needs favor with man? Because influence, we are all clamoring for influence so that we can be seen by men. And if Jesus needed man's favor, then perhaps you too, you need it. So I'm going to attack, I'm going to charge you before I go into the next factor. And before I go into that, you must prepare yourself to be visible to men. But before you become visible to men, you must be visible to God. Okay? So to get God's attention is different from the way you get man's attention. And even though the issue of God is largely personal and is different for different people, I want to charge you to cultivate a deep-seated relationship with God that helps you find yourself. Many times, a lot of people are unable to make the kind of influence they need to make in the world because they haven't made their peace with what they think God wants for them. And you cannot know what God wants for you without working on that relationship. You see, as people go through life, I've been privileged to interview a lot of successful, influential people. And one thing I found out about them is that they are quite spiritual. Life is very spiritual. So for everything that you see out there, for everything, every level of success, every level of growth, every level of influence, something is powering it. There's a spirit powering it. There's a spirit, there's an atmosphere, there's a way they think about it, there's a way they prepare for this, an atmosphere that powers it. And so those atmospheres are powered by agreements, commitments, and exchanges that take place and you don't see them. So if you want to address the issue of influence, first be visible to God. First be visible to God. Then we're going to go into being visible to yourself. Posture, you can't do anything to really earn the love of God. So you position for it. And your motives will matter when you are trying to build influence. So that's all I'm going to say about the God factor today. You want to connect, find a way to find your God factor as you prepare to build your influence. So what are the results of influence? What are the results of influence? Influence will help you be visible. You'll be easily recognized. You have credibility. We've said this before. Your impact will be greatly seen. Your opportunities will be increased. You would have fame, yes, famous. Yes, some people really, really, really become famous. And then fortune, the fortune that comes with having great influence. And of course, it helps you with your power connections, just like I showed you earlier down the line. So I'm going to be using my ebook. This book has been my personal guide. I have never shared it anywhere before. This was my first time sharing this book. I'm going to be sharing from my A to Z strategy, the personal guide for influence, the A to Z guide for personal branding, 26 ways, the 26 to-do strategies in building a profitable and personal brand recognition. So let's start. I'm going to go alphabetically. All right. So starting with A, we are going to be addressing. So that the book I just shared with you has an A to Z strategy. Like it's wide, it's broad, and it's broken down into many things. From this, I have been able to pick what I want to focus on per time. And so today I'm going to start with the A. So when building your influence, number one, you want to become self-aware. Self-aware. What does it mean to be self-aware? You must be aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. You must be aware of the threats and opportunities around you. You want to make sure that you are aware of what feeds you and gives you focus. And you're also aware of what depletes your energy and makes you distracted. Many people are just unable to rise to levels of influence because they are not self-aware. And for the longest of time, I was a victim of lack of self-awareness. It took me to be beaten several times to now start asking myself, why was I constantly finding myself in this situation when other people that are not finding themselves in this situation, what are they doing differently? Why do I always, you know that person is always entering trouble, but they never start the trouble. They don't know what is going on. They just happen to always be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Lack of self-awareness. They don't pay attention to their surroundings. They are not paying attention to the things around them. They are not paying attention to their emotions, their feelings, what their instincts are telling them. You must be self-aware. People, if you want to build your influence this year, start with the letter A. Become self-aware. Awareness is a very key and important part of your influence. I'm no longer seeing comments. Please, if you're here, I'm seeing, okay, all right. Sorry. Please let me see comments to know that you are agreeing with what I'm saying, or you can relate to what I'm saying. Self-awareness is such a key part of becoming influential. There's hardly anyone that you know who is influential that is not self-aware. So you want to work on your self-awareness. A also covers the issue of appearance. I said that God looks on the heart, but humans look on the outside. Your appearance is super, super important. And that means how you dress, how you speak, thank you, Rekia, thank you, John, thank you for your comments. Just keep them coming. If you have your questions, be putting it down there. If you have contributions, put them down there so that I can address them as we go over. All right, your appearance is very, very important. Do you know that there are some places where you will not gain influence just merely by the way you look? Like I told you, somebody came in box once and reprimanded me for not, like I said, what was the word? Complying. I'm not complying with the standards. And I wasn't embarrassed because then I thought, okay, fine. I'm glad that you're even following me and getting value for what I'm sharing. He's like, yes, but you need to add more. There are some places and some people that just simply wouldn't pay attention to you if you don't work on your appearance. And so appearance is very, very important. You must take care to look after yourself because dressing connotes respect and it attracts respect. You know that dressing attracts respect, right? Dressing, your appearance, how you look can start conversations. It can make people want to be your friend just merely by how you dress. Haven't you seen that? Haven't you noticed that some people are fine, then they dress nicely, then they always have friends, and it looks like they just have the best of all the world. And you feel like, well, it's not as if I'm not bad looking. It's just that I don't want to spend my time on those vanity metrics and paying. Look, I used to be like that. Just kill that idea and take time to dress well. People that dress well command certain kinds of attention. There's even a way people will speak to you just because you are properly dressed. The way you are, the way people relate to you is affected by how you dress. If you want to be addressed properly, watch your appearance. Appearance is the second thing that I'm going to talk to you about building your influence. Then number 3, association. We're still under A. Loaded. I hope we can go through this. So we're still under A, association. Who are you associating with? Who are you associating with? Your associations matter. When I began my journey to significance, I knew that I needed to be around people who liked and who valued the things that I valued. I knew that I needed to be around people who did not think my ideas were exaggerated, my dreams were unrealistic, people who thought that I was doing great, people who could root for me. You have to be careful the kind of association you keep because they really, really influence how you turn out. We are all influenced by something, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. When someone says I can't be influenced, he's already been influenced and he doesn't even know it. So your association is key. Who you talk to, who you get advice from, who you share your deepest secrets with, who you draw inspiration from, it matters a whole lot. It says a lot about you and where you're going. And like people say, I can tell you where you're going by just watching the people you hang around. Someone who is going to be a thief is seen hanging around with people who are thieves. Someone who is going somewhere is going to be successful. And a very popular industry leader said, if you hang out with 5 millionaires, you are going to be the sixth one. You are going to be the sixth one. Yes, John, thank you very much. Association determines acceleration. Association determines, I forgot that you're really great with all these rhymes, right? Association determines your speed, it determines your acceleration, it determines how well you do. Just being in the right environment, mingling with the right people can open your mind up to the new world of information. I'm currently working on a project that has required me to seek the association of certain kinds of people. Sitting in the room with some of these people, I am just awed by how much they know, how much drive they have, and how much courage they have exhibited. And I'm pretty sure in fullness of time, that association, the results of that association will begin to show. Okay? So your association matters. Then you have your attitude. If you want to fail at being influential, make sure your attitude stinks. Your attitude is like a car, a broken down car with no tires. You can't get very far. Your attitude is super important, and how you associate with people, how you take correction, how you learn, how you also learn from yourself and how you handle your mistakes are all part of your attitude. You want to work and watch your attitude because your attitude will open doors for you in front of valuable people. Do you know that there are some associations and attitudes that there are some, when you go around some kinds of people, they are very guarded, especially very successful, very influential and wealthy people. It takes them, they watch very carefully before they allow certain kinds of people enter their circles. But when you earn the trust of such people by being reliable, being straightforward, watching how you speak, wow, wow, wow. The doors and the floors are open to you. The doors and the floors are open to you. You are opened up to a new world of people and opportunities that you didn't set up for yourself. You are going to just be riding on the wings of such people. You want to watch how you carry yourself around such associations, and you want to watch your attitude and be teachable. Then, of course, you have to learn also to show gratitude. It's part of like in the last. So I'm happy because I've grown a bit. I don't know if you're like me, but many times when you are very perfectionist in your mind, you tend to exhibit ingratitude because you think, oh, this is not the way I want it to be, and you show ingratitude. So my husband needs to, chide me all the time. You need to show gratitude. You need to appreciate where you currently are. You need to celebrate your small wins. And so A is one of the key aspects of appreciation is one of the key aspects of influence influence building. Have you ever been? I mean, I've been okay. So uh, there are some people when they do things for you, when you do things for them, they show a lot of appreciation. They thank you for what you and it makes you want to do more for them. You feel happy to do more for them. You open up their hands to do more. You open up their heart. Appreciation is very key, and you need to be able to exhibit gratitude. That opens you up to people that would otherwise not even look at you. Okay, so you want to work on your appreciation. And then finally, for this point, we're just going to stop here before I stay too long on A. You want to be accountable. Influence. Anybody who has influence also has people that influence them. Anybody who commands attention and commands respect also has people that he takes, he whose people whose attention, or how do I say that now? He also has people to whom he pays respect to. So you want to be accountable to, you have to have people that you are accountable to. You have to have people that you would be able to help you on your journey to influence. I have loads of people that I'm accountable to. They guide me, they help me. Some of them are up there, and some of them are peers. Some of them are even younger and like mentees. They say some things, and I think, okay, I need to be accountable on this aspect. I need to step up. I need to do one or two things. So accountability is very important for building your influence. Are you getting value? If you're getting value, let me see something in the comments below and let me know that you are getting value. You're getting value, you're getting value, you're getting value. Thank you. Thank you for the heart. I'm loving it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have any contributions, please leave in the chat so that I can respond afterwards. Okay, so this was taking a bit longer, but then we didn't start immediately, right? So permit me. You're getting value, so I hope we can take an extra 10 minutes, maybe. All right, so B, let's talk about branding. As an influential person, when you begin to gain the attention of people, you want to start branding yourself. Branding yourself is now intentionally curating how you present yourself to your audience. It's intentionally setting and presenting yourself so that you can show up with your knowledge, your influence, your intelligence, your everything at all that you have to share. You have to show up with, you have to now intentionally begin to work on your brand. It's not enough to just be influenced. Sometimes shooting in the air is shooting, but you are not getting a desired result. The influence means that you want a desired outcome. That means that you want to be influential in a certain area doing certain things. You want to have certain results, right? And I think we talked about influence. That means some of the results that you want maybe to become more visible, maybe to be recognized for what you're doing, maybe to be given that stamp of credibility. Credibility is so powerful with its currency. There's so much you can do without money because you have credibility. There's so many places you can go and so many things you have access to because you have credibility. So what is the result of your influence? What do you want from your influence? Is it impact? Is it opportunities, fame, fortune, power connections? Branding will help you achieve that. Branding will help you intentionally create, and I help people with this. Branding will help you intentionally brand yourself, create an identity, show up in certain ways so that you can get a desired response from the people that you want to influence. So it is very important to begin to work on your brand. Number two, there is a business of influence. There's a business of branding. There's a business of anything at all that someone has done for free. There's a business angle of it. So sometimes, if you want to begin to develop influence around a certain area, look into the business angle of things in that area. Look at the business. Okay, how can I make sure I provide this solution, I solve this problem? This person is only attending to XYZ. I have seen an area that he has not paid attention to, and I want to build influence in that area. By just merely solving a problem that a lot of people have, you can become extremely influential. That is what has made Dangote an extremely wealthy man. He knows that people need to build houses. He knows that people need to eat. So he has made sure he's positioned himself in the food industry where he has salt, sugar, and what spaghetti and things like that. He has also positioned himself in the building industry to make sure the basic ingredient for building he supplies you. He's solving a problem. When you solve the problem of many people, you become influential. So many times, another way to build your brand, another way to gain influence is by taking on a business. Is by taking on a business. And then B, you may want to blog. Blogging is so powerful now. And the first blog was accepted in 2003, the Huffington Post. Huffington Post became the first blog to be accepted by mainstream, where they began to give news, information, news, current affairs and stuff. Before then, blogging was seen as open library, open diary, where people just shared their thoughts, how they felt, and put it in the blog, and then other people began to read and think, okay, I can relate to this guy, I can relate to this guy. But Huffington Post turned it into another thing, and then today blogging has become a big deal. So another way you can gain influence is to blog. You can put your thoughts down. Somebody once told me about blogging the year that Linda Ikeji started. I told you many things that I failed at, right? At the beginning of this webinar, if you haven't watched and you catch the replay, you'll see the aspect where I told you the hard way, the way I did things that really made it difficult for me to build influence. And one of the ways was I just wasn't willing to learn any tech skill. I didn't want to do anything that required me to associate with technology. And so blogging was part of it. When I was told to consider blogging, I remember thinking, all right, good idea. No, I'm not going to do it. And then afterwards, Linda Ikeji became a big deal, right? And everybody talked about how did she become so influential and wealthy? And they said from merely writing a blog. Now, blog can be many things. Gossip blogs are like popular and are the way to go, but I'm not really into gossip. So there are many other areas that you can blog on. You can blog in the areas that concern you of influence, that places you want to gain influence in. You can blog in the area of offering design solutions to people. You can blog in the area like on personal branding. You can blog in the areas of how to dress and how to take care of your home, how to take care of your. So many, there's parenting blogs today, blogs about dogs, how to take care of dogs, blogs about how to gain or lose weight. So many blogs. Being able to blog can really build your influence. And then the thing about blogging is that it tends to even catapult you to international status even faster than just merely writing on your Facebook. My sister started a blog, and within months, she had readership from all over the world. She had them from Australia, the UK, Canada. So if you're looking to become influential and you want your influence to reach even outside the shores of your home country, you may want to consider starting a blog. And then, of course, B is for balance. Everything in moderation, everything balanced. You want to make sure, even as you are building your influence, you want to make sure that there are other aspects of your brand that you are taking care of. You want to make sure you bring balance to what you're offering and what you are getting. Balance is very important, and they help you standardize your processes. Are you getting value? Are you getting value? Thank you, thank you. Thank you for all those who have been contributing. Thank you for all those who have joined. We're going to take a little bit more of the time and then we'll move on and round up this class. All right, so C, let's look at communication. Communication. Oh my goodness. How many of you, okay, so like I shared earlier on, I'm a lady of faith and I like to express some of my points using matters of faith. There was a gentleman known as Daniel who was taken to the land of a place called Babylon. This man was a young, I think maybe a young teenager or a young adult. And the king of Babylon had heard that there were some people who had been captured in war from Israel and they had been brought in. So he wanted a handful of the ones who were from royal lines, who were greatly skilled, who were fine to look at. Are you seeing the requirements the king is asking? He wanted to see how fine and how handsome. He wanted to make sure that people of his cabinet were of a certain pedigree. So he was not satisfied with just looking through his own people. He was also interested in looking through foreigners that were living in his kingdom. So he said, find me young men who are easy to teach, who can learn languages, who can learn how to communicate, who can dress well, who are intelligent, who are smart. Find them for me, and we are going to train them. I want to use them as part of my cabinet. That young man, Daniel, he ended up serving three kings. He ended up becoming an old man in that kingdom. He ended up becoming like a top public servant, serving three kings, and becoming a person of major influence. You see, knowledge can bring you before kings. Style, dressing can bring you before kings. How you communicate can bring you before kings. You can be invited to kings, to stand before kings, because influence is about standing before the people that matter, rolling with the people that matter, right? You can stand before those kinds of people, powerful people, but your etiquette, your behavior, your protocol can usher you out of their spaces. So communication is a very vital skill to acquire. And many people who are not influential, many of them lack the right communication skills. They are unable to be influential because they lack the right communication skills. They do not know how to speak. They do not know how to talk. They do not know what is required to be kept private or secret. Knowledge, yes. They do not know how to behave. They are unable to behave like people who are sitting in the presence of kings. Communication is more than merely being able to speak. Communication is speaking, courage, etiquette, protocol, and all of that stuff. So you want to make sure you have the right etiquette. You must develop your emotional intelligence, your psychological intelligence, and learn how to handle information. And learn how to also articulate that information and share it with people. Oh my goodness. Do you think we can finish this today? I don't think we can. But I think you get the gist, right? All right. So you want to be able to handle communication and express yourself articulately. Express yourself articulately. In the world today, people that have ability to speak more than one language are usually very revered. So if you have the ability to learn, go ahead and learn. Learn how to communicate in writing, learn how to communicate in spoken words, learn how to communicate yourself. See, body language. I think body language, okay, so let me not call a wrong figure, but 7% is what you say. And 93% is communicated via your courage, your etiquette, your how you communicate yourself, communicate using your body and your courage. So one of the doors that will open to you, one of the doors of influence that will open to you is if you are able to communicate. If you're able to communicate, okay? So C also stands for competence. Competence, I don't know if I should really harp on competence. Competence will take you before kings. Competence will sit you in their midst. Confidence will take care of you. Confidence will feed you. Confidence will grow you. Confidence will help you build that capacity that you require to build. So embrace competence. Do not mediocrity. It's very easy to be mediocre. It takes a whole lot more. Like I told you, I didn't know what it took when I initially started my journey. But one of the things I have decided is I've decided to be competent now at what I know. I have identified what my strengths are, and I've decided to be competent at them. I've decided to be competent at them. You want to build your competence. So I'm very proud because in the last 1 month, I have embraced a couple of tech skills that I would never have considered embracing 3, 4 years from ago. But I told myself, you know what? I have to exhibit competence in this field, and I'm doing so right now. You want to make sure you acquire competence. You also want to build and work around community. Community is very vital when it comes to influence. Influence is about community. So influence tells you this is who you are influencing, this is where you are influencing, this is the jurisdiction of your influence, this is the extent of your influence. You want to, yes, that's right. Confidence. I should have put confidence here, right? Confidence, yes. So someone says confidence, nothing enhances confidence like competence, yes. Nothing enhances confidence like competence. Competence is powerful. And I think that we see a lot of competence in our musicians these days. Nigerian music has gone global. And we have, I think, our fashion industry as well. And recently, our knowledge industry too has begun to break into the global scene. So um, competence usually fuels confidence. The confidence that you have can be brought about because you are competent. And then you want to invest in community. I used to be the kind of person that used to shy away from community. I used to pride myself in being alone. I used to pride myself in being ordinary. I used to pride myself in being um I don't know. I just thought, oh yes, I'm proud of being an introvert. I'm proud of not having a lot of people on my side. It's a very foolish mindset to have. I think so. It's my opinion. I think it's alone. Woe to him who is alone when he falls. There's something very powerful about community. Find one and plug yourself in. C also stands for cash. Cash? Yes. Do you know that influence brings in income? I put cash there because it stands for C. This same word is going to show up in other alphabets. The A to Z is going to show up in other places. It's going to show up in other places. So cash is one of the benefits of building your influence. You want to position for it. Content. I am creating content. This is content. Every day you share something online, you're creating content. If you're not sharing, you're consuming content. One of the most powerful ways to influence people is to share content that adds value to others. I've gotten great feedback here that I'm adding community. Someone says she's still struggling with community. Yes, I know. I mean, I shared my story, right? I am really poor at community. I used to be really poor, but like I told you, I am going to become competent at some things, and one of them is community because community is vital. It's a vital pillar of influence. Okay, so content creation. So you want to be able to create content. Content is king. Content opens doors. Content sets you apart. Content differentiates you. Um content brings you all the benefits of influence and much more. Content can do that for you. So learn how to create content. I'm working on something that you might find interesting, and hopefully, let me not jinx it by saying it too early, but learn to create content. Learn to be intentional about content. You see, influence building is about being deliberate. Influence building is about being, if you're not sharing content, you are consuming content. Yes, you are consuming content. Thanks, Ricky. Thank you for that contribution. So let me stop here for now and let us, because I see that we're going to take forever if I decide to go through the A to Z, right? All right, so failure to practice this thing that I've mentioned, I have just listed the A, B, and C for you. Failure to practice this will cost you time, energy, and results, and you will spend all your energy focusing on the outcome for which you ultimately have no control over. So you want to make sure you practice the things that I've shared here today. Practice the A of influence, the B of influence, the C of influence. Okay, so how can you maximize this opportunity that I just shared? Let me give you a quick breakdown. Number one, use the ebook as a guide. The ebook, like I said, has been my personal property all these years. I developed that ebook, I think 3 years, 2 years ago. When I became influential, I began to see that things were growing and I was having some level of influence. I started working on the ebook. For my personal stuff, I just started noting all the things I needed to note. I didn't share so many things, and I don't think we can accommodate that here anymore. But use the ebook as a guide. Select specific activities that you can focus on per time. You see how I listed A, B, and C? You can decide that the whole year I'm going to select just 3 items that I'm going to use to build influence this year. One of the items I have selected is working on my relationships, working on my community, and sharing content. I'm improving on the sharing of content. I'm definitely improving on the relationships, and I'm working on it. So you want to make sure that you can work in around specific activities that are easy to measure. It's easy for us to say, what have you, like for instance, someone has just said community is a challenge for her. But if she's determined that she wants to use community to be one of the things to build influence this year, then she wants to make sure she focuses on community building in such a way that we can measure her progress. For instance, she can decide to join a community, and in that community, she can decide that I'm going to contribute X, Y, Z. I'm going to make sure that I have befriended 10 industry leaders this year. I'm going to make sure that I keep a book, or I have a folder where I keep all the people that I have connected with. I have everyone, and stuff like that. So you want to have something measurable, something that when we see, we can say, okay, we can clearly see the progress you have made with your decision to be influential. Let your decision to be influential be achievable and within realistic boundaries. Okay, so I cannot have level of influence that people who have been in this industry for 20 years has currently, but I can grow capacity. Remember that definition? I can grow capacity to have that kind of influence. So set realistic boundaries for yourself, and then ensure that try to make it time bound. Try to make it time bound. I have given myself to the end of this year to be able to build community, work on relationships as part of my influence tool, a part of the tool that I'm going to use to build my influence. So your results of influence should look something like this. You must have an outcome. That is, you must have a visibility outcome. You must have a recognition outcome. You can choose any of them that you want as a vital aspect of what you want to achieve this year, and you should have it as an outcome. Follow a process. The process that I'm recommending is to use the ebook to be able to follow your process. A process will get your attention, it will get you visibility, it will get you recognition, accomplishment, growth, and most importantly, we are going to get to see you. You know how many of us, I don't know if you're like me, but a lot of people from my generation were brought up and told that it is improper to be seen. You know, what I'm saying, don't you? Some of you know what I'm saying. Especially if we're brought up in a certain way, we're very conservative, trying to show up and influence people to be seen. It's really a struggle, isn't it? So we get to see you and the beauty that God has created and the beauty you can share with the world. We get to see you. You won't be regarded simply because you deserve. You are going to, you have to position yourself to be seen. You have to, like I said in the past, learn to accept strategic, learn to position yourself strategically in a way that you can be seen, that is commensurate with what you want to achieve. See, only God really sees your heart. So people are going to try to criticize you, but that's fine. So like I said, stay to the end, and I have something for you. Some more military metrics. This is me. I'm not going to tell you the story of this picture where I was standing before this crowd. And that's me there at Amber Cross Hotel in the UK after I had just taken a session. That's the power of visibility. That's the power of influence. That me here in Nigeria with the global stage, global platform. I'm sorry, local stage and a global platform. I had the world to speak to when I got to that place. Okay, so the ebook that I have used is available. Number one, um, you have to, in order to grow your influence, it's important that you select different aspects of your influence. And I've shared it here. I've been able to take only A to C. So you can imagine how much more I have not shared. Look at my notes. I couldn't even go over my notes. I don't even know if you can see my notes. I couldn't go over the things I really wanted to share. I had the stages of visibility I wanted to share here. I had the pros and cons. I was talking about handling negative influence. I talked about all of that, but I've shared all of that. I've prepared all of that and I've put in this ebook, and I think I want to recommend it to you. Listen, if you add 10 years to your age right now, what will you be doing? So why are you delaying, okay? Know that God supports your needs to shine. I hope I have shattered that table and convinced you that God is a support, because I'm speaking to a really religious society. I know that there may be a couple of people who will view this who may not be very religious, but I know how our society is, and a lot of people want to use God as an excuse. So God is telling you, go shine so that men may see your work and glorify Him. Shine because you are the light of the world, you are the salt of the earth, and let the world benefit from your goodness. Okay? Invest in who you are becoming or who you must become. And one of the ways that I'm going to recommend that you do so is to get this ebook that I just started using. These are some additional testimonials. Let me see. Thank you, Ochudo, for the well packaged events of yesterday. Yes, this was some of my workshops. We demystified, and the value I gained far exceeded the fees that I paid. I remember that there was even someone who said she had to pay me more. Please, I hope you don't mind. I feel I am paying too little for what I am getting. I was really pleased with that client, with that person. So I want you to know that there's a whole lot more that I haven't been able to share. Like I've shown you, I haven't been able to share about your emotions, how to handle your emotions when you are becoming influential. I haven't been able to share about how to work on handling the negative influences of oh my god, there's so much, so much. So let's not waste any time. I've ensured that you are going to get this ebook. It's available for you. If you get this ebook, you get a head start on your influence journey. My processes, you get the processes and standards that I have used that have fetched me results. You will learn how to start building your personal brand. Yes, yes, yes. You are going to learn about community. You are going to at least be part of our community, because if you purchase it, you're automatically part of our community. And I'm going to be sharing a lot more free content from the ebook. So that ebook is going to be like our textbook now. I'm going to be sharing a lot more content from the ebook, and I'm going to be offering a lot more free training. So if you know people that can benefit from this training, please, 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 just get the book and let us come. I think that if you guys are serious, I'm gonna do this monthly. I'm gonna do this every month, and I'm going to select different aspects of the book, and we're going to really, really expand on it. Okay, you're going to learn how to be accountable. At least with the book, I'm able to tell that you are making progress. You learn how to audit your efforts, and learn how to set influence, impact, and financial goals fearlessly. The total value of what I've shared, if I were to charge somebody to offer this group of services, I've charged them 150,000. But I've compressed that into an ebook because, well, I've taken time to just put them down. I put them down over some time. And so it's a cheat sheet. You can use it as a guide. You can use it as a guide. You can use it as a guide. So the ebook let me see. If you'd like to get the ebook, that's fine. If you'd like to get the ebook, that's fine. I'm going to stop sharing my screen straight away, and I'm going to put the link on. So you can get the ebook for if you purchase it today, you get it for 2,000. You can 2,000. After with the price, we revert back to 3,000. But I'm really, really excited because those who purchase this book and those who will be purchasing the book in the future are going to be getting all the content we're sharing for free. They're going to join our community, and how we help them harness and build influence. We're going to help them set um, influence and impact goals so that we can make progress. So let me see. Let me get back to the book. This is the book. This is the book. But I'm going to have to unshare my screen right now so that I can post the link to purchase. It's an ebook, so I don't have a hard copy. So please do not order. If you look at if you look in the chat below, you'll see the link. Let me post this up. Let me post the link. You see the link. Okay, I'm back on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the comments. Let me see. Okay, so there's a link. There's a link on the there's a link in the chat box to get the book. I'm going to be using this book to everything I'm going to be sharing is going to be embedded in my book. Like I said, there's so much we couldn't reach. I even tried not to talk too much about it. There's so much we couldn't reach because there's no time, right? Literally. But so thank you so much for the hearts. I'm just loving the comments. Unfortunately, the device, like the reason why we have to show up here on Facebook, the device that I'm using will not allow me to show the link to the book. Okay, let me put it out here. So this is the link to the book. This is the link to the book. You can go to this link and purchase it. It's just a mere 2,000. Anyone who buys this book will be getting it. Okay, so comments. Okay, let me look at the comments. Oh, fantastic. So let me share some of your comments, right? So this is the link. So please copy the link. But if you look in the comment section, you will see the link. It's an active link. Let me show this. It's an active link to other 26 ways to be noticed. So that's A to Z of personal branding. Kindly place an order using the link below. That's the link right here. That's the link right there. Please share the link. And I want to take some contributions. I'd like to take some contributions, and I'd like you to see some of the fantastic comments that people who have been part of the have gained. It's amazing. So thank you so much, Ishama, for joining and putting your comments. Ishama is my sister's friend. I feel very privileged that she made it today. Rekia, thank you for joining. BC. Anna, thank you for joining. Anna, Mr. John, I was feeling all your heart. Pastor Fred, thank you so much, Pastor Fred, all the way from the UK. Cynthia, oh yeah. Emmanuel Ogabaidu, you said the audio was poor, but I think that the audio picked up once I was able to sort out my earpiece. Okay, so I hope you got value. If you got any value or you have any questions, now is the time for me to take your questions. New comments, right? New comments. Thank you so much, Hannah, for joining. Yes. Richard says, if you're not sharing, you are consuming. If you're not sharing content, you are consuming content. Mr. John said at the time I was discussing C, where we're talking about competence, he said nothing enhances confidence like competence. Nothing enhances confidence like competence. Hannah said, knowledge and how you communicate it can bring you before kings. Very, very true. How it can bring you before kings. Associations determine acceleration. Associations determine acceleration. So, people of God, I am truly sorry that some of you are just joining in late. You will have to catch the replay. But this has been an awesome time. I've enjoyed sharing about this with you guys. I promise you, I'm going to keep sharing. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep sharing content around becoming influential this year because I have been a beneficiary. So if you are just making up your mind today, believe you me, in the next 1 year, you'll be amazed what you can achieve. We actually underestimate what we can achieve in 1 year and overestimate what we can achieve in 5 years. Just start and we'll get it there. Just start. I started. I didn't really go into sharing the story. I mean, I shared a bit. Hello, Bosse. Thank you for joining. I always enjoy your company. So you guys, let me share the link again so that you can purchase the ebook. For those who are purchasing now, I'm going to be doing this regularly. Are you ready to get influential series? I'm going to be doing a whole series. I'm not sure how long it will last, but I'm going to make sure I cover every single thing in the book. But in order to make sure you don't waste your time or have to wait when we share, I recommend, oh, you're in Europe right now. What's going on? You're not here. You're in Europe. Oh, that's great. All right. So in order to make sure, the link is showing. It can take dollars though. It can take naira. If you are seeing the link in dollars, it's because we had the first set of ebooks we sold accepted dollars. So, but you can take naira. So you can pay in naira. It will give you the option. So please pay if you want to pay for the book, the ebook. It's an ebook. It's a cheat sheet really, but it gives you 26 strategies and more. And as you can see from what I shared, each strategy has multiple dimensions to it. I think we've discussed 6 strategies under A that can help you build your powerful brand. We're still going to come. Thank you, Bosse. Thank you so much, Bosse. Keep enjoying and make sure you come back with something nice for me. So this is the link you want to make sure you join. Are there any contributions? I'd like to acknowledge you to show your contribution on the screen. Hannah, thank you. Pastor Fred, let me see if more people have commented. I saw a lot more people that didn't comment. So please comment if you're here. Please comment if you're here. Please comment if you're here. This has been, are you ready to become influential? Are you ready to become influential? Are you ready to become influential? This has been, are you ready to become influential? So have you seen the link? Have you seen the link? So has this been beneficial? Have you found your reason to not give an excuse? Have you made sure you do not give an excuse or use God as an excuse? You can see that God supports your desire to be influential. And if you're here, you're still making excuses to be influential. No, you don't need to do that. Just get up. If you've ever had a tiny desire in your heart to be influential, if you've ever had a desire that, oh, I have something to share with the world, I want to show something. Look. Now is the time. 10 years from now, you do not know where you will be. You do not know how things will be. But what you do now that gets to the hearts of people will always celebrate you and keep you in the sands of time. If I was told that 3-4 years ago that I would have authored more than one book at this stage, I would never have believed. If I was told, look, I only showed you one of the mentors I attracted. I didn't tell you about things. I'm a lady that has been helped by God. I have received support every step of the way. Listen, don't worry about what you have and what you don't have yet. I want to charge you to just commence your journey. We all make mistakes along the way, but you have started. Just start. God will send help. Help always. See, the universe, the way they say it, right? The universe will conspire to help you. The universe will bring information, will bring opportunity, will bring solutions, will bring ideas, will bring opportunities your way. And then it will seem like, oh, you are so lucky. No, it's because you have something in your hand that you are working with, and then God can breathe on it. So if you've ever had any tiny mustard seed kind of desire to be influential, if you've ever had the desire to impact, if you've ever had the desire to grow, to help people see things better, if you have any information that you think can help, I told you somebody blasted me for appearance, right? If you think there's any way I can improve my appearance, improve how I speak, improve my knowledge, improve information on chain management, if you know how I can stand before kings and speak about areas of importance, if you want to be, please seize the opportunity to be influential and start. And start with this book. This ebook is a perfect guide. You have it, you go through it when you're looking and just think, okay, this is D. D. I'm going to just start with D. I'm going to work on. You can start from any part of the book. In fact, I'm going to probably call for a poll so that I can work with the area that people are most interested in. I can work with the area that people are most interested in. Yes, there's a comment here that says for those of you who say it shows dollar, it can also take payments in naira. If you need assistance, kindly contact Mr. Idiam Chimeze, and he will be able to help you make your payment. There are no hard copies. It is purely an e-copy. It's going to be our manual moving forward. We're going to use it as the guide to talk about all things influential, and I cannot wait. If you have enjoyed this class and you'd like to see me in another class, please say something in the comments below so that I can get angry and show up and we can tackle other areas of personal branding and being influential. So please show something in the comments below. Okay, so please kindly assist Hannah who wants to pay. Kindly assist. Okay. So more comments, more comments. I'm really happy to take more comments. More comments. Thank you all. I see 13 people so far. More comments. So we're going to leave after the video. We're going to leave the video here for a bit before we take it down, because I know like a couple of people who registered, we couldn't communicate with them on time because of the hitches that we had. So we're going to leave the comment, we're going to leave the link, and we're going to, any assistance you need, kindly just put it in the chat and it will be attended to as soon as possible. I hope you've gotten value today. I hope you've gotten value today. I hope you've gotten value. If you've gotten value, let me know in the comments as we round up, as we round up, as we round up, as we round up. Stages of visibility. Should I just put a sneak peek into what we get in the book? Stages of visibility. When you come to V, we're going to talk about visibility and we're going to break, be more detailed. Like I said, I'm going to be able to share so much. Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me put that there. Again, so much value. Thank you. So I'm going to be talking more about like V now says stages of visibility. I'm just going to mention them. You need to be visible to yourself, to your immediate environment, your larger community, the intercontinental stage, and the global platform. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging there from the beginning to the end. Thank you, Hannah, for hanging in there from beginning to the end. Value over value. Sometimes we take for granted what this is. Oh, yes, it will definitely bring you. See, the easiest things are always usually the most effective. When we overcomplicate things, oh, let me show you one technical, one high level. No need. Let's just make this simple. Let's just make this simple. Influence is simple. Influence just simply means being able to affect the outcome in such a way that it benefits you and the people. Thought is not complicated. Thought is not complicated. Thought just goes into the soup and makes it taste great. Makes it taste great. So thought is not complicated. Why would we make influence and building a personal brand complicated? When it comes to B, it talks about branding. Branding is a whole new briefcase. A whole new briefcase. And I'm going to attend to branding separately. But if you have enjoyed this, please join my Facebook community. Facebook community is titled the Emerge and Dominate Africa. If you have enjoyed this, join my community on Facebook, Emerge and Dominate Africa. In that community, we are, in fact, today is Tuesday, right? So tomorrow, our theme for the month of July is marketing your way to influence. So that's the theme. So we're bringing in 5 experts throughout the month of July and early August to share with us how we can improve on our marketing and sales for our businesses, our brands, our services, our solutions. So you want to join the community? That's it right there. That's the name. Emerge and Dominate Africa on Facebook. Please find the link and join. Just type group Emerge and Dominate Africa and the group link. So please join and we'll be willing to accept you. We're going to be taking. We have a fireside chat where we bring experts to share with us. That's not going to be here. That's going to be on the Facebook group. So if you want to get more value from it, please join our Facebook community. Okay? Have you been fed some value this afternoon? Don't stop there. Join the Facebook community. Click the link to buy. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. I am grateful. I am grateful. So this is still the link. This is still the link. This is still the link. Click the link or type it to purchase the book. It's very easy. We're going to be following it. If you have enjoyed this, enjoy this. Thank you so much for all for joining. Thank you. We're just trying to attend to a couple of people. So let me see more comments. Comments are still coming in. Comments are still coming in. Let me look at your comments. Thank you, Rakiat. Woo! Rakiat has paid. I like people that take action. No time for story. So you're going to get the book in your email immediately. Please download it immediately. Don't leave it in your email. Download it, keep it in your somewhere in your folder so that you can have access to it immediately. Do not waste time. Download it immediately. This is an ebook, and it has been set up to be automated so that it will immediately deliver the book to you once you pay. So Hannah, allow and speak with Mr. Chimeze. He will attend to you. Okay, he will attend to you. He will attend to you. Thank you, Rachel, for paying. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is going to be going out. If you know anybody who needs it, please share this on your timeline. Please share this on your timeline. Please share this on your timeline. Thank you so much for reaching out. We're going to become people of influence. I have always wanted to be, and it took me a long time to admit this to myself. So there are actually aspects in that book where we're going to tackle with your limiting beliefs. I just merely touched on a couple of things here in this webinar, but if you are ready to become influenced, we're going to tear down some of those limiting beliefs and things that are holding you back so that you can actually shine like God has called you to. You are the light of the world. Nobody who is the light of the world hides under a table. You are the light of the world. Sharing this right away. Thank you so much, John. You have always been supportive. I truly appreciate it. Payment made. So for those of you who are just joining, this is the link. The link is in the comment section. Let me put it up again as we round up. As we round up, thank you so much for making this fun for me. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time here, and I'm looking forward to taking on more topics. So join the community. We have, okay, so let me help you here. We have the Emerge and Dominate community on Facebook. We also have an Emerge and Dominate community on Telegram. And then I actually got a couple of requests asking me to please create a WhatsApp version. So I think I'm going to listen and create a WhatsApp version. It's just important that I don't want us to crowd the platforms with unnecessary chats so that the real messages can come through. So I will create a WhatsApp version for those of you who are interested in joining so that you can keep tabs on what we're doing as we build a community of people who are going to become influential. You cannot dominate. See, I'm going to break down dominate for you guys. I'm going to break down dominate, and you will see how powerful the tools that you have in your hands. And we didn't get to D, right? Dominate is part of D. And so I'll tell you how powerful the tools you don't need new tools. The things you already have in your hands, what you can do to change the way things are. Me, straight up there is me. Some of you have the potential to do even more and be even better and be even bigger. Okay? So let us not play with the opportunity. Thank you so much for making the payment. The link is in the comments. In the absence of any additional comments, I will be rounding up to end the broadcast. You guys like my background? You guys like my background? Oh, look at me handling negative vibes when it comes. So after talking about whatever. I was going to share. So you guys just hang in there. Just hang in there. Just hang in there. So please kindly look at the comments, Hannah, so that you see what Mr. Timothy has shared. Click on it. It will change to Naira. For those of you who are trying to pay, let me put that here. Check beside the seller logo on your screen. You will see the USD with a downward arrow. If you click the arrow, the drop down will take you to Naira. Then you can make your payments in Naira. You can make your payments in Naira. So don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about it. Have you guys joined the community? Have you guys joined the community? Fantastic. So we're going to be talking about different things as we move forward. Make sure you invite others to join us. Handling negative visibility, staying focused and moving forward, making quiet changes if required. Yes, 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 yes. And then learning how to stand up to bullies. Do you know that becoming influential attracts both the good, the bad, and the ugly? How do you now deal with this, your newfound fame? How do you handle and guard yourself? We're going to be talking about that. So you want to purchase the book so that we can use it as a guide. Okay? I think I'm going to do a poll so that we'll talk about this. Okay? So join the community. Join the community. Your background is so powerful. Yeah, you like it, right? Okay, I've never had to use a background before, but like I said, I'm learning to be competent. So if I'm using any tool, I want to explore all the opportunities there. I know that this is rocket science to some others, and while to others it's a piece of cake. So it's fine. Okay? It's a piece of cake. So join us next time. Thank you all for the people who have been watching. The book, I wish I could show you the book right now, but if I have to share my screen, I'm going to have to leave your comments. So please just make sure you get in there, share this, and then share this widely so that other people can join. We are going to create an Image and Dominate WhatsApp community. We already have the Telegram community. The Telegram community has over 250 people already. Yes, a surprise. The Facebook group has over almost 2,500 people already. And so the WhatsApp, we're going to make sure it's just as robust, and we're going to be sharing value. If you've shared any value, please make a post, tag me, tell them that you enjoyed today. Are you ready to be influential? And we're going to take it higher. There's going to be so much more to share. Look at my notes, people. Look at my notes. I have so much to share. So much to share. So much to share. So much to share that would make sure it catapults you to influence. I didn't bother to talk about the other testimonials. So you guys having fun? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, why are you late, Mr. Wilfred? But the replay is going to be up for a bit, and I'm also going to send it to all my all the people who registered, all those who paid. Who registered, all those who are on my mailing list. I'm going to make sure I send it to them. So that the replay can be watched. The replay is going to be up for a while, and then it's also going to be on YouTube, and then the link will be shared so that you can enjoy it over and over again. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Are you ready to be influential? Are you ready to be influential? Are you ready? So it's been me, your host, Ochudo Ayi. You guys like my screen, all this fancy stuff I'm doing? Yeah, you can learn it, I know my audience and some of the people I'm talking to, and part of becoming influential is being able to manipulate this thing a bit. So if an old dinosaur like myself can do this, oh my gosh, I can't even begin to imagine who those of you who are ready to explore, okay? All right, people of God, I want to thank you for joining me this afternoon. Sorry for those who came late. The replay will be up. I'll see you around soon. Goodbye and God bless.